Cough syrup stain removal. To identify how fresh this cough syrup stain is, you will find it is sticky when wet and stiff when dry. This is slightly dry on one side and slightly sticky in the middle. It was only applied a few days ago. However, the stain should be just as easy to get out either way. The medication will contain potential honey, sugars, syrup, menthol alcohol, flavourings and colouring matter. If the spill is iodine from some kind of medication, you can easily neutralise this with a reducing agent and it will immediately disappear from the surface. As a standard with professional stain removal, we need to analyse the contents of the stain and ensure we choose a suitable chemistry to dissolve the stain itself. Medication, including cough syrup, contains obviously lots of food-based ingredients, as we've just said. It does not contain any oils, but it does have some colours which may be artificial or fruit-based, and therefore the procedure would be to allow a good enzyme suitable for the fabric or fibre to break down the food-based part of the stain. And I've previously here mixed up a hand-hot version of an enzyme powder. Enzyme powders do tend to be more powerful, and if you use them while they're hot, they obviously work much better. Use a spatula or a round-ended knife or a stick just to ensure that you've not got a saturation point here and you've no powder lumps into this. Work out your dilution from the label if you're only making up a small amount. And it's a shame to waste this because it loses its strength after 12 hours. So it's not really very good to keep. It starts to lose its strength. So we're going to put this onto the surface of this stain. And as we know with enzymes, that it needs some time to break this down. So it may take 5-10 minutes to do that. We're also going to remove at the same time the solids from the surface. As you can see, we can get some solid from the surface here. It's already breaking down with the enzyme. I'm going to slightly apply the enzyme again. This is going to keep eating at the stain. I'm going to leave that for a couple of minutes, and obviously that's because of the video we haven't got time to fully allow that to work. Following a small dwell time, and in this case about 3 to 4 minutes, we can see this is already starting to break down the food-based substance. So we're going to try and blot out more. You can see we're getting lots of transfer from here. And all the time that something's coming out from this, we continue to blot and turn. So as most stain removal, it's really a patience thing about just trying and keeping on going, and certainly following all of the industry standard rules, working towards the centre of the spot and blotting and turning until everything that's going to come out with this enzyme has come out. I'll just have one more final blot onto this, and we're still getting some transfer, but it's obviously weakening down. I think that's because most of the food-based substance, as you can see now, is looking to be gone. And so we get water. You can either use your extraction machine to rinse this out, but in the case of this situation it would be too noisy to talk over, so I've just prepared a little bit of just water, and you can put them in a sprayer, spray it if you want to. I'm in favour of keeping this fabric as dry as we can. The less we penetrate into the back of the piece of upholstery, the better it's going to be for you, from a point of speed drying and problems coming back later. So all that's going to do is neutralise down what could have been a very high pH substance. We're going to check. See, we've still got a high pH substance going on there. So because the water is not neutralising that effectively, we're going to use a little bit of an acid solution first, because we did use the strong enzyme. This is removing a little bit of the acid-based stains as well. So we'll put a little bit more of that on because it seems to be working well. Because certainly, as with most upholstery and textile, you're better to be on the acid side if you can. See, we've got a very slight alkaline going on there, so we're going to go again. Just rinse that out a little bit with water, then we've not got too much acid in there. And then we'll check again, obviously using a new paper. Still got quite a lot of alkaline there, so we're going to use the acid again. This is the problem, and the reason why some of you will have problems, because the alkaline you're using is very strong. You also need to be very careful when you're actually applying these substances that the finger you're using to press on here is not, you see that's gone down to a nice neutral level now, and that's going to be quite safe. We're right down on the acid side, so we know that's okay. So at this stage, we're just going to blot, just to absorb our moisture from here. And you should be able to see that that stain is actually out. But in some cases you will need to apply very strong alkalines and ammonias to this and then neutralise them out. If you don't know if your substance is either high pH or acid, then look at the safety data sheets under the front seats of your vans, which should have hard copies under there at all times with everything you're carrying. If you're unsure, then obviously use your pH paper or your pH monitor, as we have here. And what this will do, and what the pH paper will do, is tell you how high pH or how acid your solutions are. Sometimes be careful about the water that you're using too, because that can have a pH of 8 when it's coming from the tap. So be very careful about that. You may need to use a neutral spotter perhaps to rinse things out. So this will really say, if after all your blotting nothing more is coming out of the area, you might need to apply a bleaching agent, because sometimes the dyes in these kind of substances can actually cause permanent dyeing, and so you need to then use a strong oxidising bleach to remove the surface of the dye that's left behind. But certainly this stain should it be easy to take out. As long as the textile is wet cleanable, to remove this substance you'll have to discern this at your professional pre-test, but if it's wet cleanable there's no reason